Good morning, my Real News Midday TV family. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning, and I'm wishing for everyone a wonderful and a productive day. And in the news this morning, teenage girl, stepdad among 3 killed in crash. She really dead, Mom? She really dead? Keisha Flemings asked from the U.S. on Friday. Her mother-in-law, Beverly McIntosh, had just told her that her 14-year-old daughter, Tashanti Jones, had been killed in a car crash. The 2 women were bonded together by the gut-wrenching grief that comes with losing a child. McIntosh's son, 31-year-old cabinet maker Hoydeen Flemings, Keisha's husband of 2 weeks, was also among the dead. 21-year-old Brandon Gordon also died in the crash, which occurred on the Saltmarsh roadway in Trelawney. A distraught McIntosh struggled to absorb the fresh grief that was being added to emotional toll taken by an earlier tragedy. "Me don't know how I'm going to make it because me lose my other daughter 2018 and it gave me a stroke. Me go America and did a surgery. I can't even see that much, but me give thanks. So me just hope and pray," McIntosh has said. She said the tragedy struck moments from their home while Flemings was making his usual trip. "I know in the mornings he always bring the kids to school. He took the early kids and this one Tashanti on the evening shift," McIntosh revealed. "The doctors were trying, but she didn't make it. When I reached the hospital, one of her eyes was opened," she added. At Mushet High School, where little Tashanti was a 10th grader, afternoon classes were suspended to allow students, including her younger sister and the teachers, time to grieve. Speaking with the vice principal and a couple of other members of staff, it was a really sad day at Mushet, especially for the school on the afternoon shift. A grief-stricken principal, Leighton Johnson, told the news by phone from the U.S. where he is on vacation. "The staff is just trying to engage in grief counseling and hold the students together as best as possible. Her former teacher, her immediate classmates, and the entire school community is really saddened by this," he added. According to a police report, the crash took place about 10:30 a.m. on Friday when a Toyota Wish motor car driven by Flemings was traveling behind a Suzuki Grand Vitara on the Greenside Main Road heading towards Falmouth. The Suzuki Grand Vitara was in the process of turning off the road to a car wash on the right when the Toyota Wish, which was overtaking a line of traffic, collided into the right side of the Suzuki. The impact resulted in the driver of the Toyota Wish losing control of the vehicle, which careened off the road and ended up in a ditch before slamming into a concrete wall. Flemings and Gordon died on the spot, while Tashanti was rushed to the Falmouth Public General Hospital. However, she died while undergoing treatment. The lone occupant of the Suzuki Grand Vitara was also taken to hospital for treatment. The Falmouth police are investigating. 1 dead, several injured in Pmore crash. A man was killed and several others injured Friday in a 4-vehicle crash on Municipal Boulevard in Pmore, St. Catherine. The identity of the deceased man has not been ascertained. The injured victims were rushed to hospital, however, their conditions were not ascertained up to press time. The accident happened about 4 in the afternoon, just after passing the roundabout in the vicinity of the Christian Gardens housing development. Pothole allegedly causes fatal car crash in St. James. A 33-year-old woman was killed early Friday morning in a motor vehicle crash reportedly caused by a pothole in St. James. Her name has not yet been released by the police. According to a police report, the woman was a passenger in a Nissan motor car that was traveling north along the Brandon Hill Main Road about 1:15 a.m. when the driver lost control after the vehicle drove through a pothole in the vicinity of the Blossom Gardens children's home. The vehicle crashed into a concrete wall. A total of 290 people have died on the nation's roads so far this year, 37 fewer than the comparative figure last year, according to police data. Another suspect in Charly Lane murders killed by cops. A man suspected of being involved in the Charly Lane massacre, which left 8 people dead, was shot and killed in an alleged confrontation with police on Thursday in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. The deceased has been identified as Kendrick Campbell, also known as Wormy. It is reported that around 11:20 a.m., police carried out an operation in Villa Palm Estate in Spanish Town in search of Campbell. It is further reported that Campbell opened a gunfire at the lawman. The police reportedly returned the fire, resulting in Campbell being shot and injured. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. A Smith & Wesson 9mm pistol with a magazine containing 5 rounds of ammunition was also seized, the police said. The incident has been reported to the Independent Commission of Investigations. Christopher Phillips, Acting Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of Area 5, said Campbell was a high-priority target in connection with the August 11 tragedy, which claimed the life of a 7-year-old boy. Phillips added that with Campbell's death, there is a significant breakthrough in the Jamaica Constabulary Force's efforts to dismantle organized crime in the country. His connections to some of the most dangerous criminal networks, including his association with the notorious Klansman gang, have made him a major figure in the criminal landscape of St. Catherine and the surrounding parishes, Phillips said. While this development underscores our commitment to public safety, it also highlights the broader ongoing challenge we face in dismantling gangs and bringing their members to justice. We are aware that Campbell was not acting alone, and we are actively pursuing his accomplices, the top cop added. Campbell is the second person suspected of being involved in the Charly Lane shooting, who was shot and killed by police. Steve Smith, otherwise called the Ticker or Flybrain, was also killed in a confrontation with the police in Clarendon in August. Assistant Commissioner Phillips advised the criminals that when the police come for them, they should not try to engage members of the security forces. Let me remind them that our objective is to apprehend them and to put them before the courts. So when we come for you, do not raise your weapons against the security forces. We urge you to comply and have your day in court, Phillips warned. He also urged the public to contact the police at their emergency number 119, Crime Stop at 311, the NIB tip line at 811 if they have information that may be useful to their investigation. Woman shot dead at the St. Andrew Club, ex-lover arrested. The ex-boyfriend of a woman has been taken into custody after she was shot dead in the restroom of a club in St. Andrew on Friday morning. The man, said to be an ex-soldier, was picked up by police hours after the shooting, which reportedly occurred at the club, located along South Odeon Avenue, Kingston 10. The dead woman has been identified as 29-year-old Rochelle Mason, a hairdresser of Denver Crescent in Marvell, Kingston 20. Reports are that about 12:30 a.m., Mason was at a party when she was confronted by a man who was allegedly her ex-lover and dragged to a restroom. Shortly after, an explosion was heard and the man was seen leaving the restroom. A patron went to investigate, raised an alarm, and summoned the police. On arrival, Mason was seen in a sitting position on the floor of the restroom in a pool of blood with what appeared to be gunshot wound to the mouth. She was transported to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. Trial of Kahalia with members rescheduled to November. The trial of the 16 members of the controversial Montego Bay-based Kahalia religious group who are charged with breaching the Child Care and the Protection Act and the Education Act has been rescheduled to November 15 because of the unavailability of one of the defendants. The new date was set yesterday by presiding judge Keisha Grant Price after the court was told that the defendant, Ronald Lee Maitland, had recently given birth. The group's attorney, Peter Champagny, was also absent. We got some very good news that there is a new life among us, and as such, the trial cannot continue in that person's absence. That is the reason this matter is being adjourned, and no other reason, Grant Price told the other 15 defendants. Your bails are extended for you to return to this court on November 15, 2024. Contact your lawyer and ensure he is here for you on November 15. Grant Price continued, in relation to Ronald Lee Maitland, a warrant is ordered for her, but it is stayed. That is, you will ensure that she comes to court. If she is not here on November 15, the warrant will proceed and she will be locked up by the police. So I am depending on you to have her here on November 15. a prosecution witness who was present during the sitting was also excused by the court to return on the next trial date. In addition to Maitland, the defendants in the matter include Omar Thompson, Javon Thompson, Christopher Anderson, Nikisha Hardin, Derek Clark, Alicia Meadley, Fabian Nelson, Francine Paris, Jodian Spence, Joseph Hoskin, Oral Spence, Rayon Lentman, Ingrid Williams, Vera Woolery, and Melisha Thompson. The 16 defendants were arrested and charged following a police raid on the Norwood-based Kahalia compound in St. James on June 30, 2023. That raid followed a previous raid on the church on June 7, when 23 children ages 1 to 17 years were removed from the facility and subsequently placed in state care. Since the defendants' trial began on April 8 this year, the court has heard testimony from 2 officers from the Child Protection and the Family Services Agency and from a former Kahalia member. The Kahalia Church previously came into the spotlight in 2019 when the police removed the 6 children, including a pregnant 16-year-old, from the group's compound between October 31 and November 5 that year. At that time, the religious group was under investigation in relation to allegations that their members were conducting child marriages as well as being involved in human trafficking, abduction, child abuse, and sexual assault. Guys, thanks for watching. Please join us this afternoon at 2 p.m. for another news update.